Redskins fans, I hope everybody's staying out there safe, staying at home, trying to enjoy the fresh air. It's finally getting warm in the DMV area. It's awesome, man. I went for a good walk yesterday. So I hope everybody's doing well out there. Thank you for checking out the stream on Tuesday. Make sure you guys sub to Andrew Oliveros' channel. So let's get into it. Not much going on. So Thaddeus Moss had an interview yesterday. I do want to talk about that a little bit. So the things that stood out to me was that I like, from Kyle Smith and Ron Rivera is that they reached out to Thad Moss. They were the first team to reach out to Thaddeus Moss after the draft ended immediately. Because I remember it was Saturday, day 3 of the draft, and the draft ended, and everybody, I was just, myself included, a majority of Redskins fans were upset that we didn't address the tight end position in the draft. And then about an hour later, a few hours later, I get a phone. One of my friends calls me saying that we drafted Thaddeus Moss, and I was hyped. I was like, thank goodness. I was like, wow, Thaddeus Moss honestly should have been he was projected to be a 4th round, 5th round pick. Some mock drafts had him even in the 3rd round. So for Thaddeus Moss to be undrafted is just crazy to me. It really was. Same thing with Hunter Bryant. I thought Hunter Bryant should have been drafted, but I know the injury history for Hunter Bryant, the injury with Thaddeus Moss's foot had him drop out of the draft, and we got a steal. We got a couple steals. We got AGG is a steal in the draft. I think Sadiq Charles was a steal. So we got a lot of steals in the draft. I was ecstatic and very happy that we got Thaddeus Moss as an undrafted free agent. We didn't even have to use a 7th round pick to get Thaddeus Moss. I wouldn't have been mad. I would have been happy if we got him in the 7th round, to be honest with you. I just see the talent there. So on the roster, of course, there's some other guys that you might not have heard about. Marcus Ball, Caleb Wilson. Marcus Ball with Ohio State. Those are 2 guys that will be on the practice squad. Now, I only think 3 guys will be making the roster. There's about 6 tight ends that are active, but I think out of the 6, 3 will only make the roster. I think we really only need 3. I wouldn't keep 4. If Ron decides to keep 4, it is what it is. I'm fine. I don't, it doesn't really matter to me. I know we're going to keep a good amount of running backs. I think we're going to keep about 5 or 6 receivers, but tight end position I think is going to be 3. And Jeremy Sprinkle, he's a veteran, so he knows the team. He's been there, done that. He's been around the guys. He's been practicing with Dwayne in the offseason. So he's a wild card. I don't know if he's going to make the team. We got Hale Hinches, who I'm a big fan of. Shout out to Juan Gotti, shout out to Pedro Smith. They both made their videos about this. I made my video about the running backs, and I planned on, making positional videos throughout the season. I think everybody's going to do the same thing anyway. 55-man roster projections and things like that. Everybody's going to do the same thing. So this is my take on it. Hale Hinches, we got Hale Hinches on the active roster right now. Jeremy Sprinkle, who has questionable hands. He's pissed me off a couple times with dropping easy passes, looking similar to Josh Doxson at times. And Logan Thomas and Richard Rodgers, the 2 free agents that we picked up this year. So honestly, I think who's going to start and who's going to make the roster. Obviously, I think it's going to be Logan Thomas. You heard Ron Rivera talk about Logan Thomas. You heard Kyle Smith talk about Logan Thomas. You look at his contract, 2 years, $6 million. Now, Logan Thomas has a lot of potential, a lot of upside. He was a quarterback at Virginia Tech. We know his story. I'm a Virginia Tech football fan, so I'm rooting for Logan Thomas. Now, his 4 years in the NFL have been, not anything to really be excited about. I'll say that. We know he had the cheap shot on Ryan Kerrigan last year, knocked him out with concussion. So he's willing. He's a willing blocker. I think he's a pretty good blocker. He's pretty athletic. Has good speed. He was athletic at Virginia Tech. Athletic quarterback. Was a running quarterback. So his second year in the league had 12 games, 7 catches for 67 yards in the whole season. His third year in the league with Buffalo was 12 catches for 77 yards. And then last year with the Lions, he played 16 games that had 3 starts, 16 catches for 173 yards and 1 touchdown. So it's nothing to really wow you or blow your socks off or anything like that. So that's why I'm not really hyped up about Logan Thomas. A lot of people are excited about Logan Thomas. I'm just not one of those people. Now, I believe in Ron and Scott Turner, how they want to use him. But I think his ceiling is really like 40 catches. I don't see him getting like 50 or 60 catches like a Travis Kelce or anything like that. I think he'll be solid. I think he will start. But my hopes are just not really high for Logan Thomas. The second guy I had making the roster is I have Thaddeus Moss making the roster. The reason why I have making the roster, I think he's the most talented out of all the guys in the group. I think he's more talented than Jeremy Sprinkle. I love Hell Hinges, but I think Thad is more talented. I think he has the best hands out of the group. You know, he has 0 drops. And what I like about Thad, what he said in his interview, he said he doesn't want to be, you know, he had to earn everything. Nothing was really given to him. He wanted to make that known. Just because his dad is Randy Moss, who is arguably the best receiver of all time, doesn't mean he was spoon fed and that he got everything easy. You know, he went to NC State. He had to he transferred to LSU, played well on the championship team, was on an undefeated team, had 40 catches, had 2 touchdowns in the national championship game. So the question about Thad is his speed. He's not the fastest guy. In tight ends, you don't have to be the fastest guy to be really good. You know, you don't have to run a 4.3 40 or 4.5. Not everybody's like Vernon Davis or Jordan Reed, where they're just like another receiver. So I think Thaddeus Moss loves to block. He loves to block. That's one of my favorite things about Thaddeus Moss. Not only can he catch, but he can block too. And he can get open. He finds ways to get open. So I really like Thaddeus Moss. If he doesn't make the roster, then he'll probably be on the practice squad. So my prediction, and then the third guy for me would be Hell Hinches. I'm a big Hell Hinches fan. I like what I saw in the Giants game. I like what I saw in the Dallas game. He looked better than Jeremy Sprinkle to me. He moved faster. He moved quicker. I know Jeremy Sprinkle ran a faster 40-yard dash, but who cares? Because Jeremy Sprinkle looks slow as dirt when he's out there. Hale Hinches caught the ball, and he actually got some yards after the catch. That's something we didn't see last year from a tight end at all. I never saw Jeremy Sprinkle get a catch and have to make a big run after. Now, Hale Hinches, he didn't make many catches, but when he made his catches, he made the most of it. He had a nice touchdown catch against the Giants, played well, and then he had a nice catch against the Cowboys as well, made some good yardage after the catch as well. So he looks like he knows how to get open, and he's another Alabama guy. So I really like Hale Hinches. If he doesn't make the team, I think he'll be on the practice side. Richard Rodgers, we'll talk about him as well. His dad is the assistant defensive coach, so he probably will make the team. Now, if it was up to me, those would be my 3 guys. I have no allegiance to Richard Rodgers. He's been injury prone. He played 1 game in 2019, played 7 games in 2018. So he's similar almost to Jordan Reed, not getting concussions but missing games. I mean, this is a guy who has shown that he hasn't been able to play for the last 2 seasons. So I'm not relying on Richard Rodgers either. I'm not high on Richard Rodgers. You know, I think our tight end group is one of the worst in the league, and I think we can all agree on that. We just don't have a tight end that really stands out. You know, I know it's a rebuilding year offensively, getting a lot of new guys in, but we just don't have a tight end that's really solid, that really wows you, that we think, okay, this guy, you know, can get 50 catches in 1 year. I just don't see it on this team. I think Hale, if we develop Hale, I think Hale can do it. I think Thaddeus Moss can do it. Maybe Logan Thomas can do it, but the other guys, nah. Richard Rodgers, I think he's kind of past his prime. I think his best chance of making the team is really because, I'm not going to say just because of his dad, but Richard Rodgers, he's just past his prime in my opinion. So the 3 guys that we have on the roster is Thaddeus Moss, Hale Hinches, and Logan Thomas would start. Those would be my 3 guys. That's who I think will make the roster, the 55-man roster coming in August. So you guys let me know what you guys think. Richard Rodgers, he had a good year in 2015. That's the last time he had production, 58 catches for 510 yards and 8 touchdowns. You know, called the Hail Mary pass from Aaron Rodgers. But other than that, those are my 3 tight ends to make the roster for the team. So you guys let me know who you guys think. Do you guys think Jeremy Sprinkle's going to make this team? I just don't think he's going to make the team. He drops passes way too much. I wouldn't be surprised if he made it, but he drops the ball way too much for my liking. Way too many drops. There's a lot of times where Dwayne Haskins was out there. I remember the Panthers game where Dwayne moved around the pocket, eluded, invaded, and just, you know, juked a couple guys, got to the outside, threw the ball to Jeremy Sprinkle. The ball hit Jeremy Sprinkle right in his hands. He falls, and then the ball just pops out. I'm like, are you kidding me, Jeremy? Are you kidding me? Monday Night Football, Case Keenum throws the ball to Jeremy Sprinkle. The ball just slips right through his hands to Clinton Dix, his terrible self, and he runs it in for a pick 6. So Jeremy Sprinkle, man, I can count how many times he dropped the pass. You know, it was bad. It was bad. So those are the 3 guys I have. I got Thad, Hale Hinches, and Logan Thomas. Those are the 3 guys making the roster. You guys let me know what you guys think. All right, y'all. Hail to them skins. Peace. Oh, and then also channel membership. So I made some different perks. The highest tier is called Only Skins. Get it? You know, if you know Only Skins. I think you guys get the joke. But that's the name of some of my memberships. So Only Skins. So the second level, you get channel shout outs. The description in the link below, you'll get your channel shout out. If you become a member, you'll get your channel shouted out. on every video in the link in the description. Also, you get to connect on social media with me. And I forgot what the other perk was. Oh, discounted merchandise on my Teespring. You guys can check that out. And then the highest Only Skins membership is if you become a channel member for the highest channel membership, the highest level, you get private live streams with me. We get to chop it up, talk about Redskins football. Probably like once a month we get to chop it up for real. So that's pretty cool. And discounted merchandise as well. So all right, y'all, hail to them skins. And check out those cool badges and emojis you get with the membership too. All right, y'all, hail to them skins. Peace.